All right, guys, went back today with one of the absolute nicest budget SPR setups you can possibly get for under $400. We're going to break down the prices, talk about the accuracy and performance, and the different components used to achieve this SPR build, again, sub $400. Now is the time to put together something like this because I haven't seen the prices this cheap in 5 or 6 years, and even then, these are some of the cheapest prices that have ever existed on some of these components, so it's a good opportunity to grab them. This is going to be centered around the Bear Creek Arsenal upper assembly, either a PSA or other companies' lower assembly, which we'll talk about some high value options there, as well as certain match grade triggers and a certain ammo from Callaway Ballistics, allowing you to achieve, spoiler alert, about half-inch to 0.78 inch groups when you're really trying, and we'll talk about this in a second, or even on the large end, just over an inch. I've shot this gun a lot, as well as a few other versions of this, and I actually remake this video about every 6 months to a year because prices are changing, technology is changing, and I want to consistently see what an SPR setup can be had for right at about $400 to $500. Let's dig right in. The first thing I want to mention is the Bear Creek Arsenal upper assembly with their 18-inch 223 Wild stainless steel barrel or their 20-inch 223 Wild stainless steel barrel. These are going to be both of the best options to get some of these groups with this specific ammo, the Callaway Ballistics Reman. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Now, the 18-inch 223 Wild seems to be insanely accurate across the board with their 18-inch barrels across the lineup, whether it's fluted, bull barrel, heavy profile, or one of their bear claws or spiral fluted. It all seems to be about the same accuracy across the board, so you don't have to worry about that. They also just did massive price drops on their entire 223 Wild stainless steel upper assemblies that I've been using lately. That info will be on the campsite page, and you can get them as low as about $210, occasionally even less, but those deals will be on the campsite page. That campsite page will be in the description below as well as the pinned comment. It's an aggregate site of all the best info I find, so definitely check that out. Now, partnering with this upper assembly, ammo selection is going to be critical. I've found that these 18-inch 223 Wild barrels actually like 55 grain and 40 grain VMAX bullets. But the most affordable 55 grain that gets you insane accuracy out of this is going to be the Callaway Ballistics 223 Wild or 223 Reman ammo. This is very affordable range ammunition, but it's laying down some tight groups, which we'll take a look at in a second. And I've got the code 704 Tactical for 5% off and free shipping on orders over $200. This is the secret. Stock up on this ammo, grab a $210 upper assembly, then drop it on a complete lower. Now, I've used many different lowers with BCA upper assemblies. Palmetto State Armory had some on sale for $119 with all the Magpul furniture. Then they also have their PSA match triggers and rise triggers on sale for right at about $89. But if you don't want to grab them there, again, the campsite page has some of the best info and linking on that. You can check out some of those sale pages. But pretty much you were looking at about $200 for a complete lower assembly with a match grade trigger if you're following the channel and heading over to the campsite page. Also, if you guys follow me on Instagram, Twitter, which is now X, or my Patreon page, you'll be able to find these deals as well. And if you want to go back and look at the history of them, follow me on those platforms, and then scroll back through my feed and you'll see what I'm talking about. KAK just dropped the prices on complete lower assemblies as well to right at about $125 or $124.99. So that's another amazing kind of option for this setup. And that's how you kind of complete out your build. On top of this is a Vector Optics 1-8. And we're going to talk about the groups I got with a 1-8 LPVO at 100 yards on the back of the truck, as you saw in the intro. So what I did was started shooting at the number 8 and immediately got a 0.52 inch group, half an inch at 100 yards with this ammo and a $210 upper. Then I brought it down just a little bit and shot 1.23 inches. So this was my second group. I brought it down a little bit more and shot 1.13 inches at 100 yards. Now at this point, I decided to click it down a little bit more. I'm not sure why. That 1 to 8 at 100 yards with my eyes being the way they are, I just felt like I wanted to bring it down a little bit more. I think I saw these two impacts and wanted to bring it just a touch lower. So I did, and they finished out with these two groups here. And these two groups just blew me away. Again, this is a little bit more fine dot. This is a little bit more fine dot. And the finer the aiming point I've seen, the tighter my groups are generally. And so on this LPVO, the dot pretty much filled up this entire dot. So when they lined up perfectly, I shot this group, and that was 0.78 inches. That just blew me away when you consider the price of everything we're using, including this ammo. And then this, you're not going to believe me. You're just simply not going to believe me. That's fine. I don't know how to prove it to you, but this is a 3-shot group. This is a 3-shot group with this upper assembly and this ammo. I don't even know how to measure that. I'm not like a match precision grade shooter. I would call that the same jagged hole, but that is 3 independent shots, guys, at 100 yards with a $400 budget SPR setup and a 1 to 8 LPVO. And you can also see my rest. It's just a range bag on the back of my F250. Nothing fancy, but this thing lays them down. I've been laboring this point for a while about the Bear Creek Arsenal 18-inch stainless steel 223 Wild Barrel. So they just sent me this at my request to do another setup. I actually like to test them every so often because it's one of the guns I continuously recommend from Bear Creek, and say really second to none under the $800 price point for a complete setup because of the accuracy I get. If they weren't so darn accurate, it just blows my mind. So anyways, this is a good opportunity to throw something like this together. It was 100% functional down at the range with this ammo. I did not run steel ammo. I did not run anything but the Callaway ballistics ammo, but I have run a lot of different ammo through these uppers in the past, just not this particular one. This was more of an accuracy video, so I just took my time. I didn't dump a ton of rounds through it to test reliability. I've done that in the past with the 223 Wild ones. This one was really just getting groups, taking my time and dialing everything in. And man, this is an impressive setup for about $400. Again, check out that campsite page in the description below for all the info and ways to save. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.